Hey guys, it is Dan, and we've got Tim joining over Zoom. Hey Tim,
Hi, everybody. I'm
dressed
wearing
up
my
for
tuxedo
nines.
shirt. Tuxedo shirt means what? Emmys or Oscars? It's Emmys.
This time it's Emmys, yes. Grammys we don't do.
No,
For you, that would be tough.
that would be hard.
That would be hard. But this time of year, yes, it means Emmys. Tim always dresses to the nines as a presenter here. And we're going to go through what we usually do with the Oscars and the Emmys, the who will win, who should win, some snubs that maybe came along the way. And unlike movies where we try to hit 100% or at least 95% of everything, with TV, there's just too much on. I know, you and I both have some gaps in some of the categories, but we'll do our best.
Yeah, I am current on a lot of things on here. Dramas, not so much, but a lot of the dramas I have seen some of the earlier seasons, or like maybe I'm a season behind or something like that. So I have some information there, but there are a couple
Yeah,
shows
that's where I am with Better Call Saul, Ozark,
yeah.
but then like Succession, we've never seen.
Yeah.
Euphoria, I've never seen. I don't think you have either.
No, I
So
part of one episode, I was like, what is this? It's like not my demographic.
right. So we can sort of base it on what the buzz is, but yeah, in terms of, and that's why sort of for my list, when we do the snubs in the Oscars, usually we kick somebody out of the category. I don't think any specific people to kick out. You mentioned off air, Tim, basically just, with some of these categories with Succession getting like 3 nominees, maybe it's too many.
Yeah. Share the love.
But at the same time, Tim, Ted Lasso gets 3 and then it's a win.
It is, but I mean, I took one of them out for one of my snubs.
Wow. Okay. All right. Very good. All right. So we're not gonna do the writing or the directing, but we're gonna do all the acting, the main acting, and then the supporting. We're gonna do that for limited series, drama, comedy. But we'll start actually with television movie because that's something that we've seen at least some of these and have some knowledge. So the nominees here are going to be Chippendale Rescue Rangers, Ray Donovan the movie, Reno 911, The Hunt for QAnon, The Survivor, and Zoe's Extraordinary Christmas. And actually, before we even get into the categories, Tim, I don't know what I'm thinking. We should tell everybody when the Emmys is on and where they can watch it.
Yeah, it's September 14th, I believe. It's a Sunday. And I do not know, is it ABC this year?
It is NBC this year.
Okay.
And NBC's Golden Child, Kenan Thompson, is the one who is presenting.
Yes, he is
hosting.
He's hosting. They have a host this year. I don't know. Do they always have a host? Sometimes they don't. I don't know.
Usually they do. In COVID, for a couple of years, they didn't. But I do think usually they do.
Okay.
But yeah, I guess that's sort of his consolation prize for them canceling his sitcom. So they've got him on the Emmys for the hosting. And yeah, this will be the first time, at least in a couple of years, with the host. So, all right. Anyway, back to the nominees for television movie. I think will win is this HBO Max movie called The Survivor. It's gotten a lot of buzz behind it. It's oh no, I didn't see the Ray Donovan one, but other than that, it's the only one I haven't seen. But it's got a lot of buzz behind it. HBO typically wins the television movie historically. So I think that makes sense. For me personally, Chippendale Rescue Rangers is the one. It is my favorite movie, TV or otherwise, in 2022. First or second, I guess. And I don't really have a snub for this category because I am confused anymore at what is a TV movie and what is a regular movie. I really like that Better Nate Than Ever that was on Disney Plus. Maybe that could have been nominated too, but I don't know what they consider things anymore.
Yeah, I was surprised that Chippendale Rescue Rangers was nominated for an Emmy, and I guess it all depends on what that movie wants to go for. Whether they want to go for an Emmy or Oscar, they can't go for both. They got to choose, is my understanding.
Yeah, and I think the other thing specifically with Chippendale is it's a hybrid, and I don't actually think it has enough animation in it to qualify for animated movie at the Oscars. So I guess this makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I mean, It's the one that I think should win. I mean, I've only seen 2 of these 5. I saw that, and I saw Zoe's Extraordinary Christmas, which also was great. But Chip and Dale was very original. I mean, I guess it's not super original because it's Who Framed Roger Rabbit, but with some twists on it. But I thought it was pretty good for like original for what they could do these days.
Yeah, incredibly original. And really, if you look at the list, the only one that is original is The Survivor. I mean, Zoe Ray Donovan, Rena 911, and Chip and Dale are all based on TV shows.
Yeah. So I mean,
who's your will win?
I mean, I haven't seen The Survivor or anything like that. I mean, I hope that Chip and Dale will win. I don't know if it will. But I mean, you say the buzz is behind The Survivor, so I guess that's probably what's going to win. But I'm hoping for an upset, I guess. And I'm hoping for Chip and Dale.
I would like that as well. I think that would be really cool. All right, so that's sort of the only category with that. So let's get into the limited or anthology series. And people in movies could be up for the acting with limited series as well, but I don't think any of them are. I think all the acting is from limited series and not a movie. So for the series overall, you've got I've seen all of these: Dope Sick, The Dropout, Inventing Anna, Pam and Tommy, and The White Lotus.
Seen all of them. Have you seen the whole season, or have you?
I've seen the whole season of Dope Sick, Pam and Tommy, and Inventing Anna. I never did finish The White Lotus or The Dropout.
Okay.
But I think maybe here is a good time to point out too how the Emmys have basically shunned network programming. I think we'll talk about this maybe in snubs for our comedy selection. But yeah, all of these are on streaming or, in the White Lotus's case, HBO. So either way, you have to pay to see any of these. Did you see all these or any of these?
I saw all of them. Anna. I finished White Lotus. I'm halfway through Dope Sick. And I just didn't watch any Pam or Tommy or The Dropout. I just didn't get to it. I'm not sure if I will, but maybe. There's just so much TV, it's kind of hard. But on that point, does network television have limited series these days, or have a good enough to be nominated series?
I do have an acting snub from a network limited series.
Okay.
But yes, that is a good point. I mean, obviously, I think more comedy and drama is where the snub networks came in. But yeah, other than one particular show, which we'll talk about, in the main categories like this, it's almost non-existent. Now, in like the variety and stuff, sure, you get Seth Meyers and Saturday Night Live and stuff like that. But yeah, for me, I have The White Lotus as will win. I think that's got a lot of momentum. Obviously, if you look at the acting nominees, which we'll get to, almost everybody that has a main role in The White Lotus did get nominated. So obviously they're looking to that, and it got a writing and directing nominations as well. And I think should win is Dope Sick. For me, this was one of the top programs of the year, limited or otherwise. I loved it. And I do have one snub here. I would probably actually take out, if we're going to do that, I would take out probably Inventing Anna or maybe The Dropout. But I would say Made deserves to be up here in this category on Netflix.
Yeah. I mean, I watched all of White Lotus. I do think it's a good program. I just don't think it's as great as they're making it out to be. I haven't finished Dope Sick. I'm about halfway through. But from what I can see from that, I think I think it is better. So I think that should win. I think it's a toss-up between Dope Sick and White Lotus, honestly. I think it is a really tight race. I hope it's Dope Sick, but White Lotus, I guess, does have the momentum right now, and it probably will win, but I do hope that it is Dope Sick. And I have the same snub as you. I have Made, and I would take out Inventing Anna. I thought Inventing Anna was okay. I think the highlight of that is probably the acting of it. But other than that, I thought it was way too long, and I was kind of bored by the I don't know how many episodes, but the last episode I was kind of bored.
Yeah, and
But
I feel like for limited, it wasn't even that many episodes. I think wasn't there only like 6 or something? But yeah, I felt the same way. Or maybe
yeah,
there was 8. I don't remember. But yeah, I would agree. The main part about that is certainly Julia Garner's performance, and I think she may come up, in a later part of this program when we talk about the dramas. So yeah, she was great in this, but that's about all that has going for it. So when we get to the acting and let's do, I guess, supporting first. Why don't you tell us the nominees for actor and actress, and then you can tell us your would and or will and should win.
Okay, so for supporting actor, we have Murray Bartlett for White Lotus. We have Jake Lacey, also for White Lotus. We have Will Poulter for Sick. We have Seth Rogen for Pam and Tommy. Peter Sarsgaard for Dope Sick. Michael Stolberg for Dope Sick, and Steve Zahn for White Lotus. Supporting
a ton of variety.
Yeah. A lot of White Lotus.
And Dope Sick. 3 from Dope Sick too.
Yeah. But we have even more from White Lotus in supporting actress. We have Connie Britton for White Lotus, Jennifer Coolidge for White Lotus, Alexandra Daddario for White Lotus, Caitlin Dever for Dope Sick, Natasha Rothwell for White Lotus, Sydney Sweeney for White Lotus, and then Mare. I was like Mare Winningham for Dope Sick. So that's
too much White Lotus.
Yeah, 5 White Lotus, 2 Dope Sick. So for supporting actor, I think this one is a slam dunk. I think it is Murray Bartlett. I think he should win, and I think he will win. Out of all the White Lotus nominated, I think his performance was the best out of everybody. And I mean, the only one I haven't seen is Seth Rogen for Pam and Tommy. I heard he was okay in that. But I mean, for the Dope Sick people, I think they're all these supporting were all very good, but Murray Bartlett was basically a lead. That's the thing. White Lotus has no leads. It's all ensemble. So everybody was supporting, but I would say he was actually the lead character in White Lotus. So that's why I would say that he should win and will win. For supporting actress, I think should win is Caitlin Dever for Dope Sick. I actually think she will win as well. I think out of everybody, if there is a White Lotus contender in here, I think the female who had the best performance and arc for all of it, showed the most range. I think that's Alexandra Daddario. I thought she did probably the best. And then I only have one snub for both of these, and that is for supporting actress. I thought Andie MacDowell for Maid. I mean, if I were to kick someone off, I would probably kick off Sydney Sweeney for White Lotus. I didn't think her character was really anything special for this show. And she's also double nominated anyway. She has for supporting actress for drama as well for Euphoria. So, I mean, she's getting nominated anyway. So that's who I would kick out.
All right. Well, you'll hear some echoing, not all. But certainly my only snub for either of these categories is Andie MacDowell. And Tim knows I'm not a fan. Yeah. But I thought she was so good in Maid. It really played into her sort of hippie loopiness that I think movies in her career sort of missed the mark on. They kept playing her up as like a sex pot. I think this is more her lane. And I thought she was amazing in the role. So yeah, definitely she should be in. I agree. You could kick out probably Sydney Sweeney or even Natasha Rothwell. Like that's fine. I actually do not think Caitlin Dever is going to win. I would say she should win. She was amazing in this, and you're only halfway through. Some of her best scenes are yet to come in Dope Sick, but I actually think that Jennifer Coolidge is going to win. She's got, I know you hate her, I know, but she's got a lot of buzz, and her character was so beloved that this is an anthology series. She's the only character returning for season 2 of The White Lotus. So I think she's really got a lot of presence there. And the industry, even though you don't care for her, Tim, the industry does love her. So I think she could take it.
I don't mind her. I just think she does the same thing every time. Like,
and I think here it worked.
I mean, it works for the show, but I didn't think it was showed her any range of what she could do as an actress. I thought it was the same. And that's the one thing that I'm not really super excited about for White Lotus season 2 is more Jennifer. And
well, look, as you know, I'm a Connie Britton fan. You know, I think she is great in everything.
Great too. You haven't finished White Lotus, have you?
No, I haven't finished White Lotus. I think I only watched whatever I reviewed, the first 2 maybe, or the first 3. But look, ever since Friday Night Lights, I've been in love with her. I watched all of Nashville, for God's sake. But I don't think it's her year, unfortunately. So
yeah, but I do think that all the actors White Lotus, I think Alexandra Daddario had the best role in the meteor role of everybody for the females. So I think she should win. I mean, if it's Jennifer Coolidge, I'd probably be upset, but I mean, I'm hoping for Caitlin Devers.
Yeah, that would be awesome too. And then for supporting actor, I'm going to pretty much echo what you said. You know, I think Murray Bartlett for The White Lotus is a slam dunk. I think this year at the Emmys, in specifically the drama and the comedy categories, I don't know if there's any like total slam dunks. It's all like between 2 to 3 people in almost every category. But in the limited, I think there are a few that are like, oh yeah, that's an easy win. I think Murray Bartlett is one of them.
Yeah.
And Seth Rogen was very good in Pam and Tommy, but I will say Bartlett should win as well.
And then so that takes us to lead actor and lead actress. So for lead actor, there is some more variety here. We have Colin Firth for The Staircase. We have Andrew Garfield for Under the Banner of Heaven. We have Oscar Isaac for Scenes from Marriage. We have Michael Keaton from Dope Sick. We have Himesh Patel for Station 11. And we have Sebastian Stan for Pam and Tommy. Lead actress, we have Toni Collette for The Staircase. We have Julia Garner for Inventing Anna. We have Lily James for Pam and Tommy. We have Sarah Paulson for Impeachment. We have Margaret Qualley for Maid. And we have Amanda Seyfried for Dropout. So lead actor, I also think this is probably the other slam dunk. And it's Michael Keaton for Dope Sick. That's the only one out of all these that I've actually seen. But from the buzz of things, I think he is the slam dunk. So it's not really my opinion, but just from what I'm hearing. I've seen a little bit more for lead actress. Actually, one more. I saw Inventing Anna and I saw Maid. I think should win. I think Margaret Qualley should win for The Maid. I don't think she will. From everything I'm hearing, it's going to go to Amanda Seyfried for Dropout. And I think there might be an outside chance for Lily James for Pam and Tommy, just because of the transformation that she had, that like she embodied Pamela Anderson. So I think she has an outside shot, but I think it's probably between Margaret Qualley and Amanda Seyfried. I'm going to say will win as Amanda Seyfried, should win Margaret Qualley.
All right. Yeah, you're definitely going to hear some more echoing here. For me, lead actor in a limited series is, I think, the biggest slam dunk of the entire show of the Emmys. It's got to go to Michael Keaton. And in a different year, Andrew Garfield, I mean, he was amazing. Colin Firth was amazing. Sebastian Stan was very good as Tommy Lee. Everybody in this category gave a solid performance. But yeah, I think will and should is Michael Keaton, hands down, on this one. And then lead actress, yes, I think there's a little bit more variety there with me. I do think Amanda Seyfried's probably going to win. So I'll put her in the will win category. But for me, I'm torn on should. I love that Maid with Margaret Qualley, but yeah, I mean, I lived through the sex tape with Pam and Tommy. I was a teenager when that was all happening, and in college, she embodied that Pamela Anderson role more than I ever thought anybody could. It was an amazing performance. So my should is sort of torn. I guess, gun to my head, I would probably still go with Margaret Qualley for Maid, but I thought Lily James was great. And then I do have a snub for this. The show itself was not all that great, but I thought Renee Zellweger, in the fat suit, actually did a great job with The Thing About Pam on NBC. I don't know who you would take out though. I guess maybe Sarah Paulson just because she's nominated every year for something. But Toni Collette was great. Julia Garner was great. So, just throwing that out there to get some network love in, I guess.
Yeah. I guess I have to at some point watch this Pam and Tommy.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I don't think you'll get quite as much out of it as I did, because that wasn't really in your wheelhouse. You were like 10 when that happened. But to me, I mean, it really took me back. It was produced very, very well. But yeah, I don't know. You definitely might enjoy the performances and stuff, and it's a cool story.
So do we want to go guest actor or?
Well, I guess we're only really doing the comedy. At least I didn't put anything for drama because I don't know. I didn't really see any of these shows except for Marcia Gay Harden on the morning show. But yeah, I mean, you can give us the drama guests. I don't really have any will and shoulds for them.
Okay, so just so everybody knows, the guest actor for drama, we have Adrian Brody for Succession, James Cromwell for Succession, Coleman for Euphoria, Arian Mayadid for Succession, Tom Petrie for Ozark, and Alexander Skarsgård for Succession. I just picked Alexander Skarsgård because I think he's a good actor. I have no idea if he has a shot. And Succession has a lot of buzz, so that's why I picked that one. Actress, we have Hope Davis for Succession, Marcia Gay Harden for Morning Show, Martha Kelly for Euphoria, Sana Lathan for Succession, Harriet Walter for Succession, and Lee Yu Ming for Squid Game. And that's the one that I've seen. But I just picked Marcia Gay Harden because I actually recognize her name from Morning Show.
Yeah, and I mean, look, she's great in everything, so it's no surprise she was excellent in the Morning Show. So yeah, I mean, that's who I would give it to. But I've only seen that in Squid Game, so I don't really have much there. All right, so let's do the supporting actor and actress in drama. I'll go first with those. So a lot of Succession again here, much like some of these other shows. Although Succession does have one lead up as well, but mostly they put them in the supporting, or actually they have two leads. I forgot about that. But for supporting actor, you've got Nicholas Braun for Succession, Billy Crudup for The Morning Show, Kieran Culkin for Succession, Park Huso for Squid Game, Matthew McFadden for Succession, John Turturro for Severance. Finally got some Severance in here. Christopher Walken for Severance, and Oh Young-soo for Squid Game. And then for supporting actress in a drama, you've got Patricia Arquette for Severance, Julia Garner in Ozark, Jung-Hoo Yun for Squid Game, Christina Ricci for Yellow Jackets, Rhea Seehorn finally getting nominated for Better Call Saul, J. Smith Cameron for Succession, Sarah Snook for Succession, and as Tim mentioned earlier, Sydney Sweeney for Euphoria. So I will point out here that this is not Better Call Saul's final chance at the Emmys. So they may win, they may not win, but they've been nominated before this year 39 different times. They've never won any Emmys for this show. But even though it's the last season, those final few episodes didn't air until what will be next year's eligibility, which I didn't know this, Tim, until earlier today. But the same thing happened with Breaking Bad. They did the last season was split sort of into two halves, and so it won, and then it won again for the next year, which I didn't realize. But anyway, so for supporting actor drama, I am going to say Kieran Culkin will win for Succession. He seems to really be the breakout, even though he's not sort of the lead. I feel like it gets most of the buzz that I hear about the show anyway. And as a should win, since I haven't seen a lot of these, I did see Succession or Severance rather. I saw Squid Game. I saw The Morning Show. I'm going to give it to Billy Crudup. I think especially in season 2, his character is a crucial part of that show, and of any actor that could be nominated, I think he is a good choice for should. And then I do have one snub that, I guess you could kick maybe somebody from Succession out or something. But I am floored that the final season of This Is Us didn't get anything in terms of nominations. And I think this may be a recurring theme that we'll hear throughout the drama categories. But I would say Sterling K. Brown deserves one final supporting nomination for that program. And for supporting actress, I would say the same with Mandy Moore. I think there's a snub there. And I guess take somebody out from Succession. In terms of would and should for supporting, I do think Julia Garner for Ozark. This is the category where she really deserves it. I think she was great, obviously, in inventing Anna, but again, much like Kieran Culkin in Succession, I feel like Ozark is all the buzz really it goes to her character and her quotes and all of that. I tapped out on Ozark a couple seasons ago, so whether her performance this season's up to it, I don't know, but I think she will win. And for should, I mean, Christina Ricci was great in Yellow Jackets, some of the other people, but I would probably give it to Rhea Seehorn for Better Call Saul. I think she's one of the best parts of that show. The fact that she's never been nominated, why not give it to her? But it is Ozark's last chance, so I could also see giving it to Julia Garner.
For supporting actor, I've only seen Squid Game and Severance. Out of those, I think John Turturro was probably the best supporting actor from Severance, so I would give it to him. But he's not going to win. It's going to be from someone from Succession. I picked Matthew McFadden just because I did a little bit of research of like what people are thinking, and he's the buzz for this category, so I will give it to him. I do have a snub for this. I have Sterling K. Brown in a different category as a snub.
Okay. I didn't know how they did This Is Us.
No,
I thought maybe it was a White Lotus, Modern Family type situation.
No, I looked him up and he has been nominated before for lead actor. So that's what I put him as a snub for. Spoiler for later in the video. So my snubs are two different actors from This Is Us. You could do Chris Sullivan, who plays Toby. He was nominated last year for supporting actor. But I also think John Heredas, who plays Miguel, did amazing in the 6th season. You're not caught up with the final season, but I thought he did amazing. I think he deserved a nomination for this category. And I probably would have taken out one of the people from Succession because 3 people for, I mean, I get it for like limited series. There's not much to choose from of high tier quality limited series. So I get it. You're nominating 5 people from White Lotus for supporting actors, but spread the love a little bit. There's many great dramas out there. And it is a travesty that This Is Us got 0 nominations on its final season when all 6 seasons have been amazing. And I mean, they didn't win any. I don't think they ever won anything, but they've been nominated in the past. Like, why?
Well, I know in the first couple seasons, the old gentleman that played Sterling K. Brown's father, he won. I don't know if it was supporting or guest though, but he won guest maybe. Okay, so he won for something. But yeah, I don't. And Sterling K. Brown might have won early on.
No? Times, I think.
All right, maybe I'm thinking Golden Globe or something, but I feel like he won something big for This Is Us early. But yeah, look, as I pointed out in my TV news and reviews when we were talking about ratings and stuff, I mean, This Is Us every single year it was on the air was the #1 show for 18 to 34. I mean, come on.
So those were my 2 snubs for that, and then for supporting actress, I do agree that Julia Garner will win. I think the show is actually Christina Ricci. I thought she was the breakout star for Yellow Jackets. It's a great show. It's getting a lot of love from the Emmys. So she might have an outside chance. Rhea Seehorn, I think it's next year is her year. I mean, this isn't the final chance, so I think I am kind of caught up. I watched to the 5th season. I'm just a little bit behind catching up, so the 6th season isn't anywhere for free, so I don't want to pay for that. So I'm waiting for that to come to a streaming service near me.
Yeah, I think you're probably right on that. Now that it has another year, yeah, I would say she could do that. Listen, I love Christina Ricci. And she was amazing in Yellow Jackets. I didn't pick her as should just because I felt like that's my Christina Ricci bias. I love her in everything, and so I would give her all the awards.
I know, but it was
She was great,
amazing. Yeah, I mean,
uh,
I'm a Ricci fan, so
yeah, yeah. Where was her Emmy for Pan Am, Tim? She missed it.
yeah. So moving on to leads.
No, wait, no snub for Mandy Moore, Tim?
No, she's a lead.
Oh, all right. Listen, I don't know how they do it on This Is Us. Okay, I just all right, whatever. So they're both leads.
Yeah. So lead actor, we have Jason Bateman for Ozark. We have Brian Cox for Succession. We have Lee Jung Jae for Squid Game. We have Bob Odenkirk for Better Call Saul. We have Scott for Severance. We have Jeremy Strong for Succession. And then lead actress, we have Jodie Comer for Killing Eve, Laura Linney for Ozark, Melanie Linsky,
Linsky, I think.
For Yellow Jackets, Sandra Oh for Killing Eve, Reese Witherspoon for Morning Show, and Zendaya for Your. So for actor, I have will win. I have Lee Jung Jae for Squid Game. I think that he's going to win. It was such a big thing. It was a cultural phenomenon, and he was the star of it. So I think he will win. I actually think that Adam Scott for Severance. He gave 2 great performances in one show, and the balancing act that he had to do, I think, showed his acting chops that I don't think you ever saw before for Adam Scott. He is normally very a comedic actor. There is some comedy in this, but it's super drama heavy, and he's playing one guy with 2 different memories, and I think it works really well. I do think there is an outside chance for Jason Bateman just because it is Ozark's last year. So I think that is an outside chance of winning. My snubs, we've already talked about Sterling K. Brown. If I have to take someone out, there's 2 people from Succession. I have no idea. Take one of them out. I don't know which one, but take one of them out. And then for lead actress, I actually think should and will win is Melanie Lynskey for Yellow Jackets. With an outside shot for Laura Linney for Ozark. I think that's her biggest competition. It's also Killing Eve's last season. That's why both of them are in there. So I think maybe one of them. I think Jodie Comer has already won an Emmy, so I think maybe she has a shot as well. And then my snub, we've already mentioned this, Mandy Moore. She is the biggest snub out of all of us. Like, you haven't seen season 6, but just her act performances in this season alone, not just mention like the whole series, like she's playing a young version, an older version. This season she's playing an even older version, and it is great. I would take out one of the Killing Eve people, and just because I have seen half of Killing Eve, I've seen up to season 3. I do not know what happens in season 4. So I would take out Sandra Oh because I think Jodie Comer just does a better performance, and her character just has more range and has more things like that. So I would take out Sandra Oh and put Mandy Moore in there.
Yeah, so I feel like Mandy Moore, was she ever nominated for This Is Us?
No, I don't think so.
That's crazy to me because, right, she gives such a great performance. And I do think in earlier seasons she would have been considered supporting, because I think the big 3 is probably the leads in those first couple of years. But maybe I'm wrong. I mean, who knows? I guess it's whatever you get put in as. But
I think she would actually be a lead as well, because I think Milo
Ventimiglia.
Yeah, I think he's been nominated once as a actor as well. So I think
it's
big 3, and then because they are in every episode, and I think Mandy Moore is more of a Jack is, because
well, I mean, look, a lot of the supportings are in every episode.
Yeah,
but all right. Well, anyway, it's we can agree it's a tragedy that, no love. And, it kills me that the network airing the Emmys, that's where This Is Us aired. Like, as a network, I'm looking at the Emmys saying, like, why would I air this show that is just basically a commercial for streaming services? They really could have thrown This Is Us something. But I agree with you 100% actor. I think it's going to be Squid Game for the win. But I do think Adam Scott should win. And look, Jung Ye was great in Squid Game. Nothing on him. But yeah, Adam Scott was phenomenal. It's something that, like you said, we hadn't seen him do before. So for sure, that's my pick there. For lead actress, we differ a bit. I do think Melanie Linsky deserves it for Yellow Jackets. That's my should win, although I've never seen Killing Eve. Laura Linney, I find to be very one note in Ozark. So if Mandy Moore has to be a lead, I would take Laura Linney out. But I think the will win is going to be Zendaya. She is all the buzz on that show, and I understand it's Killing Eve's last year, it's Ozark's last year. I don't think Reese Witherspoon has a shot, but this is one of those tough categories that I think could go, 48% for one, 48% for the other, and then 4% maybe for the Killing Eve ladies. It might be Melanie, but I think it's going to be Zendaya.
I do have I put question marks next to my people of like, they have an outside chance of winning. I did put one of her next. So I do know that she has won. I think she won last year.
I think she won last year. I think she won the Golden Globe. I think she was, because of her win last year, was she the youngest ever to win lead actress in a drama? I think she might have been.
Probably.
Yeah.
Like, I have no idea with Euphoria. So
me neither. But yeah, I mean, Melanie Linsky was great. And it really is, it's her year. I mean, she was in the thing about Pam as well on NBC, to bring that up again. All right. Well, before we get to the meat and potatoes here, the drama, let's do the big ones for drama and comedy together. Let's move into the comedy range. Okay. Tell us about the guest stars, which we do have wills and shoulds and possible snubs for.
I've seen most of these. So guest actor for comedy, we have Gerald Carmichael for Saturday Night Live for his hosting gig. We have Bill Hader for Curb Your Enthusiasm, which is the one I haven't seen. James Lane Lasso. We have Nathan Lane for Only Murder in the Building. We have Christopher McDonald for Hacks. We have Sam Richardson for Ted Lasso. For guest actress, we have Jane Addams for Hacks. We have Harriet Sanson Harris for Hacks. We have Jane Lynch for Only Murders in the Building. We have Laurie Metcalf for Hacks. We have Caitlin Olsen for Hacks, and we have Harriet Walter for Ted Lasso. So for actor, I have should and will win Nathan Lane from Only Murders in the Building. I think it just also like his guest role in that. I think it's multiple episodes. I think it's a little bit meatier. The guys from Ted Lasso, I love Ted Lasso, but I just don't think they were as standoutish. Christopher McDonald, I think if it was last year Hacks, he had a little bit more to do in season 1 than season 2. I don't watch Saturday Night Live, but I think I saw a couple of this guy's sketches and I thought that was okay. And I haven't seen Bill Hader and Curb Your Enthusiasm. So that's my should and will win. I have the same person. And then for actress, I think this is also a slam dunk. It's Laurie Metcalf for Hacks. Her guest role in Hacks this season was amazing. It was Caitlin Olsen. I think also if it was season 1, I think she had a better chance. Season 2, I think she's not as prominent. And then the other 2 actresses from Hacks, I don't think that she stands out as much as Laurie Metcalf did. I think the outside chance here is Jane Lynch for Only Murders in the Building.
Yeah, it's good that we finally get to talk about Only Murders in the Building, because that appears in many of these categories. I have Nathan Lane as a will and should, hands down. Other than Michael Keaton, I think this could be the biggest slam dunk of the year. Nathan Lane, everyone loves him, and I agree. He was in like a third of the episode, so he really got a chance to, give us a little more of that character than say Sting did, or something. And then for the females, I haven't seen season 2 of Hacks. So, but look, I love Laurie Metcalf in everything. I think she should be nominated for so many things. From back in the Roseanne days, she did get a couple of nominations and maybe won once. And she has a couple of guest Emmys already for Desperate Housewives, and I think one other thing. But yeah, I think she probably will. But I think Jane Lynch, it's another one of those where it's like, maybe 45%, and then a few percent for the others. But yeah, Jane Lynch, I think, has a very strong chance at also winning. And I would give that a should, because I didn't see season 2 of Hacks. And really for the same reason, Nathan Lane, if it was last year, Christopher McDonald in season 1 of Hacks was great. Season two, I don't know. But and in terms of snubs, I just think it's odd that they only picked one SNL person, and it was Jared Carmichael. I agree with you. And I watch SNL, front to back every single week. I think that's mostly probably based on his monologue, which was really just a stand-up routine. The skits were okay. So my snubs in this category, I think some of the better hosts this year on SNL were Oscar Isaac, and then in the female category, Lizzo and Zoe Kravitz, I thought both did a better job than Jared Carmichael.
Yeah, man. I think I remember more of their, because I just go on YouTube and watch the best skits talking about. So I think I remember more of their skits than Jared Carmichael.
Well, and his was later in the year too, so you'd think they would be, fresher in your mind. I think he did like the second or third to last show of the season. So yeah, that was a weird one. All right, so let's get to the supporting categories then. In comedy, you've got for Barry, Anthony Carrigan, Brett Goldstein for Ted Lasso. A lot of Ted Lassos here. Nick Mohammed for Ted Lasso. I gotta look at this closer. Toheeb Jing for Ted Lasso. Okay. Tony Shalhoub for Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Tyler James Williams for Abbott Elementary, Henry Winkler for Barry, and Bowen Yang as the lone representative of SNL in supporting actor. For supporting actress, you've got Alex Borstein for Maisel, Hannah Einbender for Hacks, Janelle James for Abbott, Kate McKinnon for SNL as the lone person there, Sarah Niles for Ted Lasso, Sheryl Lee Ralph for Abbott, Juno Temple for Ted Lasso, and Hannah Waddingham for Ted Lasso. All right. Well, I have the same would and should for both of these categories. I think there's a lot of really good people here. Certainly everyone loves Henry Winkler. People, love many of these people. Bowen Yang obviously has some heat on him, but I think it is Brett Goldstein would, or should rather, and will. And then for the female, Ted Lasso, again, I think Hannah Waddingham, season 2, she really upped the game. I think she definitely won last year. Did he win for supporting last year?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, look, the Emmys are nothing if not, love to award people. They do two things. They love to just give the same person for 5 years straight, or they love to give it to the hot new thing. And really, Mrs. Maisel's been out for a while. That's a non-issue. Abbott Elementary, I think, may do better in some other categories. I would love to see Sheryl Lee Ralph win for that, but I do think Hannah Waddingham gave the best female performance in a comedy this year. I do have one snub, and that is in the supporting actor comedy. I think Dule Hill, who plays the father on the new Wonder Years, was excellent. And if we're going to talk a little bit about some network shows here, I think that could go up and take out maybe, I don't even know. Tony Shalhoub was fine. He's always good in Maisel, but, he's been up every year. Maybe take him out. But that's who I have.
I do love Abdullah Hill. He was in one of my favorite shows of Psych, but I haven't seen the new Wonder Years.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot he was in Psych. When you said one of your favorite shows, I was going to think maybe he was in Wonder Falls or something.
Oh, he was in Psych for I don't know how many seasons that ran. But
okay, yeah, he plays the dad on the Wonder Years, and he's really great.
Yeah. So I have Brett Goldstein as should. I don't know if they'll give him back to back. I think he should. I think they might give it to Henry Winkler. Everybody, that's what you said. Everybody loves Henry Winkler.
Everyone does love him.
That is my fear, is that Brett Goldstein will not get back to back, and I think he deserves it. And then also I have should win. I have Hannah Waddington for Ted Lasso. I think she should win hands down. Her performances season 2 were amazing.
Unbelievable.
But you did say that they like to give it the hot new thing, and I think out of the Abbott people, I think Janelle has the better chance over Shirley Ralph. So I think they might give it to her. I have her as the will win. Which is
I do agree with you. I went sort of back and forth on that. Like we said, most of these categories it's like a 2 or 3 person race. And yeah, I would say the 3 people here are probably Hannah Waddingham, Janelle James, and maybe Sheryl Lee Ralph. Sheryl Lee Ralph, if you don't know, Tim, is like, she's an industry veteran. She's been on stage and screen for like 40 years. The industry loves her, and she is great on the show. So that's why I sort of maybe am thinking her. But yeah, Janelle James is very hot right now. Obviously, she's all over commercials and game shows and all of that. But I do have a question, and maybe we don't know the answer, but Brett Goldstein does write Ted Lasso, so he could be up for the No Weddings and a Funeral episode for writing, right?
I mean, he is a writer on the show. I do know that. I do not know what episode he has credits for.
Yeah, I don't either. It doesn't say it on my list. So, but it's possible, I guess.
I have one snub, Dan. I have one snub actress.
Is it Aidan Bryant for SNL your favorite?
No, I have Rebecca Wisaki for Ghosts. She plays Hetty in Ghosts. Of all the
old
Ghosts,
jazz singer.
No, the matriarch of the house.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah. So I think she is probably the standout supporting actress. So I would put her in, and I would take out Kate McKinnon for Saturday Night Live because she was barely in this season. And she's been nominated. Or, I mean, if I want to be fair and not show so much love to Ted Lasso, out of the people, I would take out Sarah Niles, who was the new psychologist in this season.
Yeah.
I also do want to point out that Juno Temple from Ted Lasso is also amazing. It's just she is with Ogden, who was dynamite.
Hannah Waddingham in season 2. I mean, it was literally one of the great performances of all time.
Yeah.
I mean, there. If she doesn't win, and I agree, it could go to somebody from Abbott or something. Or, God, if it goes to Kate McKinnon for her half season or whatever, I would be mad. But yeah, I mean, nobody deserves it more than Hannah Waddingham for sure.
The reason I picked Janelle James is because I did finish Abbott Elementary. I think her character has the most nuance and depth to it, even though she is playing kind of like one note most of the time. They did give her a little bit of like depth with some of the episodes of like,
when you get towards the end of that first season with the superintendent, there's definitely some things going on there that she had to act for.
Yeah, and they showed her like dealing with her grandma and stuff like that, and like kind of explained a little bit about her character. Where like Sheryl Lee Ralph was solid the whole way through. They gave her a little bit with her daughter, but not as much.
Right.
So that's why I picked her as the Abbott person. So we're off to actor and lead actress. So lead actor, we have Donald Glover for Atlanta. It's been like 3 years in the making for that. We have Bill Hader for Barry, Nicholas Hoult for The Great, Steve Martin and Martin Short, both for Only Murders in the Building, and Jason Sudeikis for Ted Lasso. For lead actress, we have Rachel Brosnahan for Marvelous Miss Maisel. We have Quinta Brunson for Abbott Elementary, Kaylee Coco for Flight Attendant, Elle Fanning for The Great, Issa Rae for Insecure, and Jean Smart for Hacks. Hold on one second.
There are a lot of people that could take this.
Yeah.
I'm curious to hear what you're thinking on this.
Okay, for lead actor, I'm giving my should to my boy Jason Sudeikis for Ted Lasso. Sadly, I don't think he's going to win. I think it's going to go to one of the only murderers in the building boys, and out of the two, I would give it to Steve Martin. I think his character just has a little bit more to it than Martin Short. So that's where but I mean, they could also give it Donald Glover. He won it before for Atlanta. It's been 3-4 years in the making for the season 3. I've watched a couple episodes of the newest season, and he's solid as always.
Is there one more season of that?
So season 3 is all up right now. Season 4, I believe they filmed it back to back, and think season 4 comes out in November. So
okay, that's what I thought. So there is one more year for Atlanta.
Yeah, but so that's I don't think he's going to win, but I mean, like you said, they like to give it to the same person over and over again. But I think it might go to Steve Martin. But I do think it should go to Jason Sudeikis. He had a lot more depth to his character in Ted Lasso this season, so I thought he did great. For lead actress, I have should and will. I have Jean Smart back to back. She's great in Hacks. But I mean, I love Mrs. Maisel. Rachel Brosnahan is great. Kaylee Cuoco, I thought that she should have won last year. Flight Attendant. Season 2, she's also very great. She's also playing multiple versions of herself in this version this season. So she had a lot more to do, like acting wise. I haven't seen The Great or Insecure. And Abbott, Quinta Brunson, I think
all right. Her time is going to come. I think maybe in the writing. I think that we're going to give her the award is the writing.
Yeah, I think out of all the characters of that show, like hers,
she's the straight man, really, of the show.
Yeah, she's the one note person. So like she doesn't get many laughs. Or if they are laughs, they're laughs at her character. I think the supporting cast is where that show shines. I have a couple snubs for this. But I don't have snubs for lead actor. I have snubs for lead actress. And I thought Selena Gomez, if you're going to nominate the two boys for Only Murders in the Building, Selena Gomez is also a lead, also equally as great. She deserved a nomination. And then I love Ghosts, so I'm going to nominate Rose McIver for it. If I were to take out something, I haven't seen The Great. I hear Elle Fanning's great in it, but that's what I would take out because and put either one of those people in there.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're on some of the same pages. I'm not going to even say anything else about Jason Sudeikis. He should win for Ted Lasso. Season 2 it was somehow better than season 1 even, which I don't think anybody thought was going to happen. But fantastic, of course. I actually think the Only Murders guys are going to split the vote, and I think it's going to go to Bill Hader for Barry. You mentioned Atlanta had been off for 3 years. Barry has been off for 3 years as well, which could speak to Henry Winkler possibly winning for supporting, like you mentioned. But look, I have not caught up on the latest season of Barry, but I watched the other couple that were on years ago, and he's always great, and this is a great role for him. So I actually think he is going to win. I don't really have a snub here. I mean, if you want to put some network programming on, you could have nominated maybe Ted Danson for Mr. Mayor. That's another guy that everyone loves in the industry. But Nicholas Hoult is fine in The Great. I just recently got through season 1 of that, so I don't know how the new season is, but he's fine. But yeah, everybody else on there is great. For lead actress, man, I don't know what to do because Selena Gomez absolutely deserves a place there. I don't know who you kick out. I mean, I suppose you could kick out Quinta Brunson because you have her in the writing and the directing too or something, or
no, I think she
for for best show, I guess she's
Yeah.
up for.
He's one of
I knew she was up for 3 things, but yeah, I mean, look, I get it. She broke records and everything, for her 3 nominations. But of everybody, I mean, Mrs. Maisel is always great. I don't think she deserves the win this year, Rachel Brosnahan. But yeah, I mean, I think Jean Smart will do the double like yourself. I really think she's going to do it. Haven't seen season 2 of Hacks, but I have no doubt that she deserves it. I also haven't seen season 2 of The Flight Attendant. I imagine Kaylee Cuoco is great too. But I will say this is the last year for Insecure, and Issa Rae is a very loved person in the industry and has done great things. She was sort of the original Quinta Brunson, a Black woman who created her own show, stars in it, writes it. So I think there may be some sentimentality there, but I think Jean Smart will take it and probably should. My other snub, other than the great Selena Gomez, is this person that people with my TV reviews will not be shocked, but there's this program called Sort of that comes out of Canada. It was on HBO, and Bilal Blag, who is the main star of the show, I think could be nominated. The issue is they are non-binary, so I'm not sure exactly where you put them. But to me, that might be a snub as well. But it's a show nobody has seen, so it doesn't much matter. But yeah, other than that, I'm pretty happy with the people nominated. I mean, these are really the best of the best.
Yeah.
All right, so let's do the drama first, since I think we've seen less of these. It should be pretty easy. But you've got for best drama, Better Call Saul, Euphoria, Ozark, Severance, Squid Game, Stranger Things. Millie Bobby Brown could have gotten nominated too. I haven't seen the new season, but usually she's great.
Yeah, but I think the problem with that is also, I was going to mention her, but I think this season, same thing with they had the 2 parts, just like Better Call Saul.
Yeah,
the episodes were probably didn't qualify, and I think
the last 2 wouldn't have.
Yeah, so I think that's where majority of the great act was in, even though it's 2 episodes, that's 3.5 hours right there. Like,
yeah,
I think that's where she shined. I think that's where Sadie Sink shined as well for supporting actress. I thought about her as well. I think those were the 2 great acting performances from the newest season. But I think most of that came in the second part.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, I hadn't seen the season, so I didn't want to put her in as a snub. Usually she's pretty good. So yeah, Stranger Things, Succession, of course. How could it not be? And then Yellow Jackets as well. So look, the big snub is obvious in this room here. This Is Us.
This Is Us.
Where is it? We don't know. And then the other snub, look, if you're trying to placate to the masses, the number 1 show on television is Yellowstone. I don't know, I've never seen it, but everyone loves that show. And in the old days of the Emmys, they gave awards and nominations to the most popular shows, Cheers and All in the Family and NYPD Blue. So, all right, my will win is Succession. I don't see how it can't. I mean, it's up for literally every award there is. But of the ones I've seen, which is really only of the current season, only 3, I guess. But I would give it to Severance. I thought that was a brilliantly put together show, directing, acting, writing, the whole thing, and such a unique premise as well. So I know that one's going to be, towards the top of my year-end list for TV. How about for you, Tim?
So I'm actually caught up with 4 of these. So I've seen Severance, Squid Game, Yellow Jackets, and Stranger Things, all current. I'm going to give the will to Succession because I haven't seen it, and it has 28 nominations in the acting category. Why isn't it going to win? Last year I didn't The Crown sweep everything and win. So I mean that should basically that. And then I did love Severance, but I thought Yellow Jackets was amazing. It's something new. It's something kind of fresh because, I mean, yes, it has a little bit lost feel to it, but like it's not lost at all. Like you might be like, oh, plane crash in the woods, it's lost, but it's not. The way that they do it, and all the actresses were great, young and old. Like they feel like the same character, even though they're played by two different actresses. The storytelling with the flashbacks and the flash forwards, all great. So I think that should win. My snub's the same thing. This Is Us, and I also wrote down Yellowstone as well. And I guess that could be some snubs for the supporting actresses as well. Like, and the actors as well, because the people from Yellowstone performances. So I think that they probably were snubbed as a little bit as well. I mean, it's the #1 show, like you said. Where are they?
Yeah, it's so bizarre, and it's not on a broadcast network, so you can't say that about it. It's on Paramount Network. But yeah, I mean, Kevin Costner could have gotten a lead actor nod or something.
Yeah,
right. All right, so all right, in comedy, you've got all the hits we've talked about already, except for one, I guess. Abbott Elementary, Barry, Curb Your Enthusiasm, Hacks, Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Only Murders in the Building, Ted Lasso, and then the only one that didn't get any acting nods was What We Do in the Shadows. It did get some writing and I think maybe directing as well. No, just writing, it looks like. So obviously that's not going to win. But this is another one where this could go one of about 3 ways, probably. But I have the same will and should, and that is Ted Lasso. I think it could go to Only Murders in the Building, possibly. They love shiny new things at the Emmys. It could go to Hacks, riding, a great wave from last year. But, I don't know. I mean, Ted Lasso is one of the best shows that's probably ever been on television. And season 2, like I said, better than the first. So I think it's a would and or will and should. And then for snubs, look, I don't understand why the networks have not been present for years, but I think The Wonder Years definitely deserves to be in the conversation. I didn't put it in any of my acting snubs, but I do think Ghosts is a great show. And I'm wondering why, that one's not in there. It's CBS's #1 new show. And look, I'm going to say it till I die, probably, but The Conners deserves to be in some sort of category at the Emmys. It's an even better show now than it was when it was Roseanne. So I will always miss that one. But that's what I've got. I think it's going to be Ted Lasso's year again.
I will agree with you. I have it will and should, but the you didn't mention it, but I think Abbott Elementary right now is riding some waves and some buzz. They've won some other awards recently, not as high profile as the Emmys, but they are riding that buzz, that wave. And if we learned anything from the Oscars, like that's what Coda did right before the Oscars. It won all these other smaller awards, and it just crashed and rode that wave right to the statue. So I think Elementary could do that. If it doesn't go to Ted Lasso, that's who I think will get it. I do love all the other shows. Axe is great. Marvelous Miss Maisel is great. Only Murders in the Building is also great. And I think all 3 of those shows in different years against different shows would also deserve the win. I think it should be Ted Lasso. My snub, also Ghosts, great show. Like, honestly, I enjoy that more than Abbott Elementary, but I think you like Abbott a little bit more than Ghosts. But it's an amazing show. I know it's not as original because it's based off a BBC show, but in my opinion, Abbott Elementary is just a reformatting of The Office, Parks and Rec, like whatever that
Modern Family. They do that on
Modern Family. I mean, that they did the documentary type thing, but like workplace documentary type of thing. Like you also have that the call center in India show that they had. I mean, it's been done before. Yes, it's good. But it's not as original. Like I think if you're going to have Abbott Elementary, Ghost should be right there. I would take out Curb Your Enthusiasm. I've seen episodes, but
yeah,
I mean, that's been on forever.
Well, and that's what's funny about Curb. Like, if Curb was on a regular network and it was in its 14th season, it wouldn't get anything. You know, it would be like nominating Grey's Anatomy or something for best drama. But because it's on HBO, it's like, oh, well, we got to, nominate it because it's HBO. Yeah, I mean, I would agree. Of the ones I would take out, for sure, Curb Your Enthusiasm. I haven't ever seen What We Do in the Shadows. I'm sure it's fine, but
I have one more stuff. It's not something that you mentioned. Reservation Dogs.
Oh yeah, that was a great show.
Great comedy, and to have some diversity in there. I mean, it's all Native American, Indigenous people cast and produced and written and filmed. I think that would be nice to have included in the Emmys. So
that's a great stuff.
Yeah.
And it was in the AFI top 10 TV shows of the year too. So it does have critical people behind it.
Yeah. I do think that is a snub on the Emmys part.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because if you look at like the last 20 years or so of best comedy, it always goes to either the brand new hot show or let's give it to the same thing 5 years in a row. It was like the 30 Rock came out and they gave it to that 1 year. And then it was like the next 4 years was 30 Rock. Then Modern Family. Then it was Modern Family for 4 years. Then like Glee was in there for 1 year. This is Maisel for one. So it's like, it's going to be either Ted Lasso or I think Abbott or what's the other new thing on here? Only Murders. I think those are the three even in contention for this.
Yeah. I'd say that those were the best shots at winning.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, look, we're going to figure it out. And you mentioned the 14th of September, Sunday, September 14th, but I don't think that is a day.
No.
Because the sheet I have is Monday, September 12th. So I don't know. We better figure that out at some point before.
You know what? Monday is not the 14th. I don't know what I'm talking about.
All right.
Now I know. I believe Sunday is the 11th. So I imagine on a day or Tuesday. No, it'd be Monday the 14th.
So it's gonna be the Monday after Labor Day, I guess.
Yes, which would be the 12th. So all you people who didn't watch the full episode will be really confused. But for the you people,
yes,
true with us rambling on about television shows,
our true blue fans.
Yes.
All right. Well, Tim, thank you again. Our next big awards will be the Oscars next year, so we'll do it all over again. But we'll see how our Emmy picks shaked out.
Yeah. And the winner is you guys for watching this video.
Bye, everybody.